This is before they fell in love, by the way.
Seemed like, you know, kind of an indoor girl. Anyway, I fell through some thin ice. And I'm telling you, water that cold, like right down there, it hits you like 1,000 knives stabbing you all over your body. You can't breathe, you can't think. At least not about anything but the pain. Which is why I'm not looking forward to jumping in there after you. Like I said, I don't have a choice.
I have to be in this movie.
I guess I'm kind of hoping you'll come back over the rail and get me off the hook here.
You're crazy.
That's what everybody says, but with all due respect, miss, I'm not the one hanging off the back of the ship here.
Check.
Come on. You don't want to do this. I'm Jack Dawson.
Rose doing Big Hitter.
I have to get you to write that one down.
I just want you to look at how young Leonardo DiCaprio looks in this. Okay. So, I think obviously Titanic is was a giant success. It was made by a master filmmaker at the height of his powers. It's an incredible historical event. It's the pacing's unbelievable. I mean, I watched it on iTunes, and I'm looking at, we're at the 2.5 hour mark. It's a 3-hour movie, and they just get in the water. So there's a half hour where they're actually in the water. You'd think that would be the end of the movie. He also does a really brilliant thing as far as a storyteller goes, where, you know, they're diving on the Titanic. You see all the gear and the submersible cameras and technically what's going on. And we all know the story of James Cameron actually diving on the Titanic, so he really knew what he was doing. But a really clever thing was when the woman, excuse me, the old woman comes and starts telling the story, they show the computer graphic of what happened when the Titanic sank. This is a really complex, you know, catastrophe that happened. But Cameron is so clever, he shows you with a computer animated graphic like what happens. He's kind of prefacing the entire catastrophe before you're actually taken through it in the film, so you can really understand what's going on, and it's really amazing. My biggest problem with this, and I direct it at you, Morton Kondraki, Frank Conniff. When you look at Kate Winslet, she's a beautiful, mature woman. And you look at Leonardo DiCaprio, it looks like his testicles haven't dropped yet. And that is why I think this movie blows. Wow. That's kind of, you know, that's a very thin argument, I think, against the movie. Because obviously those two actors in those parts really worked for the audience. You know, obviously they had chemistry, and obviously if the love story in this movie hadn't worked, it wouldn't have been the gigantic success that it was.
Well, fortunately, Leonardo DiCaprio has fantastic hair on his head, but none downstairs.
The chemistry between Diet Coke and Mentos is more interesting.
Got that?
We're going to throw it over to the audience. Who believes in the beauty of this film as Frank Conniff does?
Thank you, ladies.
And who believes the testicles of this film have not dropped?
Believe me, I'm
I'm not surprised at all by that. Like I said, I have yet to meet anyone who agrees with me about this. It's this movie, and when it came out, I was in LA, and like in all the comedy club, you know, the movie was in the news. It was a big part of the zeitgeist at that time, and every comedian, many of whom you know, who you love, they all did bits about how this movie is shit.
And you're just crying inside.
Yeah, crying on the inside and outside.
So Joel, we're going to go to you for the final film.
Okay. The movie I picked was Zardoz. And I want to try to paint a picture of what the world was like when I found out about Zardoz. And, excuse me, you know, I was in college, and this was the golden age of, like, art house cinema. What was the one on Lake Street? The
Lagoon. It was a landmark.
The Lagoon Theater, and they would show midnight movies, and Zardoz was always featured as a movie in an art house film. So that was where I first saw it, and I thought it was very provocative. But the story behind it is John Borman, who made the movie Deliverance, right? He had a huge success with the movie Deliverance, and he was basically granted carte blanche to make any movie he wanted, and he made Zardoz. And I started to wade into the world of Zardoz as an ironic viewing, right? Like, that's what a lot of the art house cinema movies show. That's where I found out about, like, Plan 9 from Outer Space and Robot Monster and all that. And Zardoz was kind of lumped in there. And I started to watch the movie differently as I got into it. And this would happen on Mystery Science Theater, too. Like for example, The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad. It's like a really awesome movie, and you start to fall in love with the movie while you're trying to riff on it. And Zardoz had that effect on me. Number one, I think it could be, as far as Sean Connery as an actor, this like represents his greatest range as an actor. I mean, now granted, he's in a red diaper the whole movie and a ponytail, but I really think he goes beyond anything he did in any of the Bond movies, anything he did in Darby O'Gill and the Little People, anything he may have done in, no, I don't know, the third thing, which I wish I had right now. You got a third thing for me? What's that?
A Fine Madness.
Up for Red October, thank you. Also, I really like the design of the movie. I mean, this is really before any kind of digital effects, and they did everything in camera, which I'm a huge fan of. It's really like kind of everything in the movie is kind of symbolic to me as far as what is a future society that has finally learned how to live forever, and what would they do. The clip that I picked to show this is kind of the beginning of the third act, where Sean Connery's character Zed, who's actually a mutant, it turns out has been bred to kind of take down the immortal people that live in the vortex, and he finally confronts this computer which resides in a
perfectly clear.
What's that?
It's perfectly clear.
Yeah, it's the perfect computer, and it resides in a diamond. And is that what he said? Perfect computer? Perfectly clear. Yeah, it's perfectly clear diamond. And what I love about this scene is the diamond, the computer vanishes, and Zed, or Sean Connery, does a very convincing magic move. If you watch very closely when he makes it vanish, he does a perfect move. So anyway, that's it, and I hope I can win you over to my side with this clip. Bless you, Zed.
Brain emissions refract low wavelength laser light passing through the crystal in the brain. They're a code sent to you for interpretation and storage. Yes or no?
Not permitted.
A receiver must be like a transmitter. I think you're a crystal. In fact, this one. This diamond. In here, there is infinite storage space for refracted light patterns. Yes or no?
You have me in the palm of your hand.
Use me under your arms.
Elsewhere.
Yet I choose to be here.
Why?
To confront you. Already you have learned to see my light wavelengths in the diamond. Now you will try to erase the refractions and destroy me. Your aim is to destroy me, isn't it?
Yes.
Would you kill God?
Such vanity.
I am the sum of all these people and all their knowledge. I am all-seeing. I am everywhere and nowhere. That has often served as a definition of God. Would you destroy us and all that we are?
Yes.
Would you not rather be part of us, joined to us, a light shining to the future, love us, cherish the truth? You have penetrated me.
That just jumped off the screen, didn't it?
I think that pretty much proves your argument, Joel.
Thank you.
Good night. What was it again?
I have no idea what the argument was, but it was amazing. Trace, what was your clip from Zardoz?
My clip from Zardoz, again, I could have gone anywhere in this film. The beginning of the film, we see Zardoz, Arthur Frayne, this floating head. I am Arthur Frayne. And I watched the director's commentary on this film, John Borman, and he said this segment, Arthur Frayne's head floating here, was tacked on after the fact because the audience didn't get the movie. He goes on to say, it didn't help. These are his words. But the clip I chose, he creates this future world that's built on the ancient world, and it's filled with the most pretentious theater arts assholes. But they are so, they speak through telepathy. And this clip illustrates how just amazing they all thought they were, and how great the film is. It's a future bakery. It's a bakery in the future.
Obviously no dress code.
Yep, they just bake some bread. That's pretty much the experience that every audience had. What the hell is he saying?
Hey, you know what, though, Trace? I was going to use this same clip to illustrate how great the movie was.
This, I'm actually right now, having seen this, I'm actually experiencing a post-traumatic pretension syndrome.
I think, Frank, it's time for your clip.
Okay, my clip is just an exchange of dialogue, and I'll play it, and then I'll talk about it after.
hear the expression, if looks could kill? Well, here they can.
Yes. We're in a futuristic world, who knows, thousands of years in the future, I don't know. And the expression, if looks can kill, has survived the apocalypse. And it's gone on, the post-apocalyptic war. Have you ever heard that expression, if looks could kill? And then you might have noticed that for centuries people have been saying, don't go there. It just struck me as just very absurd.
Let's see what the audience thinks. Who agrees with Joel that Zardoz is a simply incredible, perfectly clear film? And who disagrees with Joel?
Jeez, don't you people like anything?
I'd say that's 3 strikes.
I don't think we won them over with any of our films.
Well, actually, we are out of time right now. Len's drawings, I think, Len, are you going to post them to your Twitter account so everyone can see them? Probably the easiest way. That way everyone can see them. So, at Len Peralta, you can see the drawings that Len has done. Ooh.
Oh, also, we'll be on the Walk of Fame all day today and tomorrow. Come by and see us.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody. And you can see the 3 gentlemen here down on the Walk of Fame. And we have a panel tomorrow with Trace and Frank. It's the You Know More Than We Do. And we got a quiz show tonight with Joel. Please join us there. It is, I think it's in the...
Look, they're all running out to go watch
Region 6 and
Dreamcatcher.
7. Hey! Thank you very much, everybody. I'll see you soon.